The Bob TV Network presents, broadcasting live from the greatest city in the world, New York City. It's the Bobby Brown Show. And now here's your host, Bobby Brown.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Bobby Brown Show. How are you doing today? Sitting over here eating a Pop-Tart. It is, all right, you want to check my sound real quick? Give me a moment. All right, so I think we're good to go. All right. So in the efforts of trying to prepare myself to do more live shows, I'm a little perfectionist. I gotta have try to have everything looking good, looking great. I've been working on the backdrop. This is not going to be the official backdrop of the Bobby Brown Show. The backdrop that I have here past these frames with the city in the background, that's going to be the backdrop in the future, but this is more going to be like on the go, on the fly. You're going to have this set up. And a lot of people told me to go to different services online, like Talk Studio and things like that, Melon and Streamlabs. But I'm comfortable with this because I can't control what I need to control. And I'm just that way. I'm a person that like to have control. And oftentimes it hurts me more than help because it keeps me from being on here because I'm trying to perfect this. I'm trying to perfect the quality of the mic. I upgraded my mic from a good mic, a Vocaster. But everybody using the Shure SM7B, so I went ahead and got it because it was itching me. Didn't need it. I already got great mics back there, but I was told this is the best quality. So I'm the type of person that's trying to bring quality in what I do, trying to bring a spirit of excellence in what I do. But that's not the news for today. I live in New York City. In New York City, we have some questionable mayors, and we've had them for quite a while, from Eliot Spitzer to, you name them, you got Dinkins all the way down to, de Blasio, Bloomberg, you name it. We got some questionable characters. Spitzer was governor. We got some questionable characters here in New York City. And right now, the character of the next few years as mayor is Mayor Eric Adams. Now, Mayor Eric Adams used to be the borough president of Brooklyn. So when you think Brooklyn, you think Biggie, you think, a whole host of people. You think Jay-Z, you think hip-hop culture. And he believes he's a hip-hop mayor. And bro, you ain't no hip-hop mayor, so that's all I got to say about that. Trying to be, but you're not. You're a cop, and you're a cop all day, every day, and that's just the bottom line. Ain't no way of getting away from that. You are a cop, and and he's doing his best to try to climb up the Democratic Party ladder, but he's finding some roadblocks. I mean, this guy got to deal with some stuff that the average mayor, Democratic mayor, ain't got to deal with. And we're going to talk about one of those issues today, and how he's handled it, and a whole host of other things should garner him his butt out of office. And one of them is this immigrant, whatever you want to call it, this migrant situation. He is handling that terribly. First of all, he felt the need that if they're going to bus a bunch of immigrants or migrant workers to New York City, that he have to go all over and above to take care of them, and he don't. And I know some of you are not going to like me for saying this, but he don't. Now, I told you, and you guys, and I guess that's why I went from a certain amount of subscribers to where I'm at right now. You can't put me in a box, baby. I got some conservative values and I got some liberal values. I'm not one-sided. I'm an open book. I'm a free thinker. I try to control my thoughts. I don't want to go all off the wall, but I don't like to be controlled, and I don't like nobody trying to control me, and I don't want to control nobody. The only thing I can control is me and what I do. And in this situation right now, I'm not for the current immigration, the way we do immigration. I'm not. There's a lot of points, especially when it comes to my community. It hurts more than help. And I know some of you people say, well, no, it helps the overall collective when it comes to borders and ability to move wherever you want, whenever you want, and things like that. And that's fine with me, but most countries, you have to have a process of becoming a citizen in their country and doing business in their country. There's a process, there's rules and regulations, bylaws and things like that you have to go through. I just can't go to China and do whatever I want. You ain't gonna drop a bunch of black people in China and not have to go through the China process or any other government. But here in America, we feel that we could just drop people anywhere, anytime we want, and we just got to put up with it. And the answer is no, we don't. No, we don't. Now, the problem with New York City and a lot of other cities like Chicago, these white leaders, most of them corporate, most of them capitalists, it's not socialists, it's not social democrats, but most of them capitalists, allow these cities to become sanctuary cities for various reasons. And one of the main reasons is we can get some of these people to do some of these jobs that some people claim that most Americans don't want to do, which is a lie. The point is most Americans don't want to do it for pennies on a dollar, and you want to bust people in here so you can get them to do your work for pennies on a dollar. New York City is the hub of reconstruction right now. New York City has a bunch of new buildings that's being propped up and built up left and right. They have old buildings that need to be refurbished. They have current buildings that need upkeep. They have to put in different ducts and things like that. See, I work in that type of environment where I see a whole host, these companies hiring these migrant workers, probably paying them pennies on a dollar. They getting tax-free status because the government is hooking them up, and you don't know the laws concerning that. The government hooking them up. They getting tax-free status for these people, and they getting cheap labor. And one of the reasons why you don't see a lot of people of different colors working in those industries is because we know we trained for this stuff. We went to school for this stuff in the United States. It costs us money to get this kind of knowledge and to get the certification and to get the paperwork that we need to get. So we're not going to let you lowball us and tell us that you're going to just give us $15 an hour when this job is worth $25, $35 an hour. We just ain't going to do that. But that's what's going on in New York City. And by making yourself a sanctuary city, and look, I'm not going to get mad at Ron DeSantis and people like Greg Abbott. You're in a state where you got people coming in from the water. You got people coming in from the border. See, Texas got waters. See, I used to live in Florida, the Gulf of Mexico part of Florida. These people come in anywhere. And then Coast Guard catch them on the bus and bring them in. And they have to let them go through an illegal process, which eventually gets them in here legally. They don't get shipped back. They don't get deported like they should. Now, the deportation laws have laxed, and I believe they need to be strengthened. And we need to revisit these sanctuary city laws because most of that pressure is going on. Most of the pressure is being put on the citizens of that city, not necessarily the government. Now, Mayor Matt Adams has his gripe. He whined and complained and all this kind of stuff about what's going on. You set that stuff up. They set you up, bro. This is a sanctuary city. So you think it's crude, and some of you people think it's crude for them from Texas and all these border towns in Arkansas and things like that, that is cruel for them to send it to a sanctuary city. But I'm gonna tell you like this: if I was a governor and I have to deal with that stuff every day, and I'm spending all these resources fighting all this stuff and trying to put it in its proper perspective and give them a direction to go forward or go back. You claim to be a sanctuary city. Then how about I just send them to you? That's why I say you need to revisit these sanctuary city laws, because you claim to be a sanctuary city. So why am I going to put all that frustration and that anger trying to make it a sanctuary city? We're not a sanctuary city. We're not a sanctuary state. We're trying to stop illegal immigration. We're trying to stop people from coming across the borders. We're trying to get people to go through the right channels to get into this country. Yeah, they got channels. And most people from different parts of Nigeria, Europe, let's see, all over Europe and all over Africa and India and stuff like that, even from the Caribbeans, they go through the proper channels to get into this country. They don't just come illegally. They come through a temporary visa, whatnot, a work visa, whatnot, but they come here legally. They come here through the process of, you got to have a family member here. And, it's just a whole bunch to it. And I might start having guests on the show to explain this, but it's the way we're going about it is wrong. And it's not going to help America. It's going to hurt. It helps corporate America because they get a chance to get some cheap labor. But ultimately, it hurts certain communities, especially the black community, because most of the time they want to put these people in our neighborhoods, like they do in Chicago, and they expect us to foot the bill. We in the black community see so much neglect in our own city, and we do whatever we can to come together as a unit, as a community, churches, you name it, come together to try to fix our community on our own. But sometimes it's not that easy. Sometimes we get roadblocks. Sometimes the city government get in our way of trying to fix our own community, try to protect our own community. And they do things like destabilize our community by stopping permits here and there and stopping us from building businesses in our own community. And it makes it hard on us. We trying to build our own neighborhoods just like every other community do. We're not trying to go in and overtake the Jewish neighborhood and overtake the Asian neighborhood and things like that. Matter of fact, we appreciate that you build your neighborhoods and let us build ours. And then when we want to go visit your neighborhoods, we should be able to enjoy each other's culture and appreciate each other's culture from that part of town. It shouldn't be a place that's shut down and, it's discriminatory and things like that, because you never see that in the black community. Black community, we're so open. We're so open, man. I'm telling you. Some places in America, some places a black man will not walk to this day. But I tell you right now, a white man can walk in just about any black neighborhood and we won't do anything for them. But tell that to a black man walking in certain neighborhoods in this country. Now, how is that getting all my immigration message? I am not, how can I say this? Foundational Black Americans, and I have to say, with the aid of our unwanted aid, let me put it this way, with the unwanted aid of the colonizers who brought some of us to this country, or who robbed, stole, and cheated some of us who were already here. We've been open to building the American dream. And that American dream then get built on rose petals and pillow talk. It got built on some brutalness. And then we got people wanting to come to this country. And we've made it where they can. Matter of fact, black people fought for rights for immigrants to come into this country more than anybody. Most of the white settlers did not want immigration. And when they did, they was going to be picky and choosy about who comes into this country. We fought for everybody to come to this country. And a lot of us died for it. Horrible deaths for it. But we fixed the immigration laws where people can come to this country and enjoy the American dream. And a lot of times it hurt us to see that a lot of people can come with a $5 dream and end up being millionaire. And we've been here all our lives, and we and everything that we built get torn down or taken away from us. I was reading a story of a man who came to this country, and he built this beautiful memorial in Grand Central Station, New York, or Grand Central Terminal, talking about it was his dedication for the way the city embraced him when he came from Germany, I think, somewhere. And every time I see that, I get pissed off because I know that was not our story. So what I'm saying is everybody wants to come to America for the American dream for now. That's changing because a lot of people going to Dubai, a lot of people going to these other wealthy places that's just as tyrannical as the United States. But they want to go for that opportunity. They feel they can become wealthy, fame, and fortune and live the American dream, picket fence and dog and all that stuff. So migrant workers are coming here in their mindset, that's what they're coming for. But they don't understand that this federal government is using them. And they're using them tactically to destabilize certain communities, especially the black community. They don't put these migrant workers into the Latino community that much. They definitely ain't gonna put them in the white community. But what they do is they put the people from Africa, a lot of times they allow them to go into the nice, elite white neighborhoods. They don't put them around us that much, not since the 90s, before the 90s. After the 90s, that's all changed. So I can see why these governors send people here to this country. Send people to places like New York and Chicago. We set ourselves up to be a sanctuary city. And if I was a governor and I see that you're a sanctuary city, willing to house or bring in migrant workers, I'm sending them there. Especially when it's in your bylaws that you're open. So if you're open, I'll pay the money. You don't even have to come out of your pocket. I'll pay the money and send the buses down that way because I can't deal with it here. I don't want to deal with it, and I don't have to deal with it. If you're going to deal with it, I don't have to deal with it. And we're not going to think the same concerning housing these people. And honestly speaking, and I know you're going to hate me for saying this, but to take that horrible trip to try and risk your life to come to America, you could have did that at home fighting to keep your country and maintain the country. Matter of fact, if the federal government really cared about these people, instead of the $1 million that they spend of our money trying to put these people in nice hotels and put them in our neighborhood and things like that, you could have helped them win their neighborhoods back, win their own country back. You could have did what you're doing to the Ukrainians, fighting against whoever ran them out of the country. Whatever reason they had to leave their country, whether we destabilize the country or not, there still should be no excuse to pick them up and bring them here. What you need to do is reinforce them and help them rebuild their city and their country so we can come visit them. But we're doing it all wrong. We got this crappy immigration policy, and people like Mayor Adams is on the scene. So we're going to get into a little bit about Mayor Eric Adams and some of the things he's currently doing. Now, I'm just practicing this live thing, okay? I haven't got it down pat yet. All right, so we're going to go to this article, this video about what's about to go down here in New York City.
In an unprecedented move, New York City has filed a lawsuit against 30 New York counties for refusing to accept asylum seekers. CBS 2 political reporter Marsha Kramer has more.
Rockland County Executive Ed Day was the first local official to try and stop New York City from busting.
All right, I had to stop that for a second because I thought I was hearing some echo. All right, so give me a moment. Let me figure out why is there echo on this thing. Um, telling you guys, I'm still trying to get used to this live thing and the software. And the software that I use. So bear with me. Bear with me. All right. I don't think I'm going to get this thing right tonight. Let me try this off. Let me try this. Give me a moment.
Asylum seekers to his local hotels. And now he's the first in a list of asylum seekers to his local hotels. And now he's the first in a list of.
All right, I think I got it. So let's go.
Day was the first local official to try and stop New York City from busing asylum seekers to his local.
But I can't hear it. Just bear with me. All right, I can hear it, but it's going to double up a little bit. I hate this. I'm still working on this, people, so just bear with me. Hang in there with a brother. Hang in there with a brother.
Hotels. And now he's the first in a list of 31 people. 30 county executives and Riverhead Town Supervisor Yvette Aguilar sued today by New York City for issuing what the city says is unlawful executive orders to close their borders to asylum seekers.
These counties
Now the thing is, I'm using OBS, so it's not that I have to mute myself while this is playing, because I've been able to do both at the same time. It's not like stuff that other YouTubers are using, the online stuff. I just got to figure it out. So it's not me, it's the system that causing it to double up. If I take the mute off on the video, it'll play without doubling, but I won't be able to hear it in my earphones. But if I put the mute back on, it's going to double up. Again, if I put the mute back on, it's going to get that double echo sound. But if I take the mute off, the video you can hear, I can't hear it. So I'll figure it out. Anyway, so here's the deal. The mayor is suing all these counties for them not doing their fair share of taking in these asylums. The mayor is. My point is, why are you suing these cities, Mayor Adams? Why don't you just take it up with Governor Scholl and talk to her about putting the pressure on the other cities to house these people? If that's your deal, if that's your gripe, why are you trying to sue these other cities who don't want to have people just come here out of order? You just, all right, they dropped the bus there. You going to put them back, you'll house them a couple of days in this hotel, put them back on the bus and drop them off. You're just playing tic-tac with these people. You mad because they don't want to deal with how you're handling this crisis, Mayor Adams. The way you're handling this crisis is foul. I'm going to tell you something right now. Somebody sends something on my doorstep that I didn't ask for. I'm going to find out who this person is, or I'm just going to do what? I'm going to send it back. And honestly speaking, Most people in New York was not asking for, nobody's really asking for influxuation of immigrants coming in. Nobody asking for that. But governor, these governors from on the southern borders or on these border towns or border states, they're going to take these people and drop them on your doorstep. To me, the federal government need to do whatever they need to do to encourage them to stay in their homeland and rebuild their homeland and help them rebuild their homeland. If we were the one, and that's the key word, if we were the ones that destabilized their country and messed their country up, then we should help them rebuild it. Now, saying all that, we shouldn't be in other people's country to destabilize them. We shouldn't be trying to weave our way in to try to get uranium, gold, whatever resource they got in their country like we did with Lithuania and Honduras, and trying to overturn the government and have the person assassinated and stuff like that. We need to stay out of that mess. And as a result of us poking our nose in other people's business and destabilizing their country, we feel it's an obligation. Well, we messed up your country. Come over here. No. That's how Ilhan Omar, whatever. No. You want to come to this country, you got to come through the proper way. And there's steps to come into this country the proper way, because we got people who come into this country the proper way. And you know who built that opportunity? It wasn't the federal government. It wasn't the colonizer. It wasn't the capitalists. It was people on the ground, grassroots people who needed reinforcement in the communities. But the federal government will take these people and use them to destabilize your community. Now, let me keep playing. It's going to play double. I'll figure that out later.
Have implemented misguided and unlawful executive orders.
The city also wants to stop the local.
Now, this lady right here, immigrant herself, I don't know what island she come from, but yeah, she's going to reinforce that. Because 9 out of 10, she came in here through the proper channel. But yet, these same people who came in here the proper way are going to continue to encourage the improper way of coming into this country. Now, I know some of you people are saying, well, people ought to be able to come to this country. And no, that's why we got passports and visas. You just can't come into this country. There's a reason why you have to go through steps to come in this country. There's reasons. And if you're not willing to go through those steps, then don't come. I can't go to Nigeria. I've seen some beautiful houses in Nigeria, by the way. And I was looking at one day to move to Abuja, Nigeria, or to Ghana or Senegal or something like that. Because there's some beautiful beach houses, beautiful mansions, beautiful beach houses on the coast. And then I found out they got a lot of mambas. So I was like, I don't want to mess with them. But what I'm saying is, I just can't come there and say I want to get a house and I want to start. No, I got to go through a process. It's supposed to be that way to continue to stabilize that country. There's a process. If you let people come in here all willy-nilly, you're going to destabilize the country. If you let them come into your neighborhood all willy-nilly, they're going to destabilize the neighborhood. Now, here she is, immigrant herself, and she's saying, she's not doing anything to encourage people to come through the proper channel. I mean, she's going along right with this lawsuit against these other cities on the behest of Mayor Eric Adams, who just can't handle it, and he don't know what to do, and he's trying anything to do.
To stop the localities from imposing fines on hotels that accept asylum seekers.
These executive orders burden and obstruct New York City's lawful and responsible effort to address an ongoing statewide emergency.
This as the number of asylum seekers arriving here continues to swell. 2,100 arrived during the past week, bringing the total to over 74,000. The legal aid.
You see that? I watched yesterday, no, the day before yesterday, like 6 buses coming to New York City, packed out. I think I did see one bus that has some Africans on it, but 6 buses come to New York City. Now, grant you, I will say this again. We built this country to be a beacon of hope, a beacon of opportunity, and people want that. Heck, the people in this country who born here want that and feel more entitled to reach that dream. And and when they see like opportunity pass them by, they're gonna get frustrated. We built that. We built that for us, and we built that for the world to inspire to be us. So when people do want to come here into this country, look, just don't do it illegally, because it put pressure on the entire country. It put it on the entire country. And it's a fact. Coming through the proper channels, it still put it on the entire country, but there's protocols and it's not as much, and it's curved. But this open siege and fluctuation of immigrants coming to this country is doing more harm and good. And a lot of people who live in different states and live in red states and rural areas and stuff like that, they can't see that because they're not here. I'm here. I see that. How in the world you going to have this big, beautiful, elaborate hotel, 5-star hotel, and you open it up to the immigrants when you got the homeless people sleeping right around there, because the hotel have many shops around it that was shut down from the pandemic that haven't opened up yet. So they're sitting laying in the cubicles, the corridors. I went and talked to one of the news reporters that was reporting on the migrant situation over at the Roosevelt, and I asked her, and I said, they were parked right on the corner. I said, it's a couple of homeless people right over here. Huh? It's a couple of homeless. Why are you not reporting on that? Why are you not reporting on the fact that we got homeless people and a lot of them got jobs? They just can't, the rent is just high, and they just got destabilized out of their own apartment because the rent went up, and we're supposed to have rent, freezes and stuff like that. People having a hard time, and they're sleeping. Quite a few of them are sleeping in this hotel outside. Have anybody offered them a chance to go inside and sleep? She didn't know. You're a news reporter. Have you asked? Well, I'm telling you to go ask. Here's right now 4 of them right here laying down, probably in shame, probably embarrassed, and probably hurt that the city will care more about somebody from another country coming here than the people that live here. And the fact that a lot of people around here, majority of people around here, this is a roommating city. Most people can't afford the rent, so they double up and tag team to pay for rent to survive in New York City. I know from experience. It's not easy. Yet you're asking us for billions of dollars to house people to come in this country, and you won't even house the people who are already here in this city. But let me keep going.
Society and the Coalition for the Homeless supporting the suit, saying, quote, upstate elected officials must cease with the xenophobic and racial rhetoric and frivolous legal strategies to thwart efforts to relocate new arrivals outside of New York City, and instead exhibit some semblance of leadership to assist with this humanitarian crisis.
Okay, let's stop there. Okay. Xenophobic and racist. Xenophobic and racist. Be a leader and help us deal with this humanitarian crisis. There's humanitarian crisis all over this world, but we're not telling everybody all over the world to pack up and come to the United States. That is no excuse. You still need to find ways to, make sure you protect your people. Make sure you take care of your people. There's humanitarian crisis going on right in New York City before the migrant situation, before the groundswell of immigrants coming to this country, thanks to Abbott and DeSantis and a whole lot of border town leaders. We already had our own humanitarian crisis. I just told you there's a bunch of homeless people sleeping around that hotel, and they won't even put them in that same hotel. Humanitarian crisis. A lot of these people are coming in here. They got something. I'm watching them. They got each other. They're loving each other, which is good. They're sticking together, which is good. And they know they come here knowing that, hey, I'm in America. I get to get stuff now. I made it to America. America gonna take care of me. And they're right. America is taking care of them, but American won't even take care of their own right around the corner. But people want to call this xenophobic, racist. No, I call it unfair. Unfair. Take care of your people first. I'm the type of person, what I look like sending money over here, and I haven't even sent money to my own children. I haven't given my wife no money, and I don't know how long. But I want to give money over here and spend all my money over here. What would you call that? That is what you call an infidel, worse than an infidel, an unstable person. You can't take care of your own, but you're going to take care over here, something that's not yours. And you're willing to bring them in as yours, but you're not going to take care of yours. There are people in this country that need help. And that is the echo, that is the sentiment that's been echoing all across this country. You're asking for billions of our tax dollars. You're already sending it over to Ukraine. You're asking for more billions to deal with this migrant situation when we're over here suffering. So you could throw that xenophobic. Most of the stuff is not xenophobic. Most of the stuff is not racist. It's about fairness. I can't just go to their country and expect them to take me in and put me above the citizens of Honduras or Colombia or Peru. No, that's stupid. Let me keep going.
Deputy Mayor Ann Williams Isom says the city desperately needs the president to approve quicker pathways to allow the migrants to work.
People want to.
Anyway, we need the president to go ahead and give them a fast track to get a visa so they can work these jobs for pennies on the dollar. In the meantime, the people who in the United States train for this job can't get those jobs because they refuse to work for pennies on the dollar. How do I know this, Robert? How do you know this? Because I'm always in the area where these construction companies and these havoc companies and stuff like that are hiring these people by the droves and put them in their yellow vest and putting them to work. And they're out there in the washing windows and up on the high-rise roof, risking their lives and not getting paid that much more. Yet the communities in the city are saying, look, this is America. We don't do that. No, I'll do it. And look, I take that job too. I just don't want to get paid $15 an hour when I've been trained to make $30 an hour. And I'm supposed to be in a union where I can get protection, where I can get insurance. Something happened to me, my family's taken care of. Something happened to them, their family not going to be taken care of. I'm telling you this. These guys could be on the top working on the roof and fall down, and that company ain't going to insure them. What kind of insurance is going to pay them? They're not even citizens. But that's the problem, Brown. No, that's not the problem. Because if I got to have insurance, I got to pay insurance, but I got to have a job that's going to pay me decent money enough to do it, or at least be in a union that's going to provide me the insurance negotiated through a contract for part of my contract. Again, manipulating, taking advantage of. That's what these capitalists are going to do with these immigrants. And then they're going to leave them, throw them to put them in any neighborhood to destabilize the neighborhoods that's focusing on getting paid decent wages and getting paid decent housing and things like that, working hard to make that happen for the citizens of the United States.
Work. That is what they came here for, to be able to start their new life and to get connected and on their journey to get resettled.
Meanwhile, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer.
See, let me go back. Resettle? What you mean resettle, lady? See, this is my point. And I know y'all can hate me. I don't like it. You know, it is what it is, man. This it is what it is. I'm just going to talk about my people for a second. Black people, specifically foundational black people. We'll talk about my people for a minute. I love all people, even the immigrants that come to this country. When you talk like you don't, no, this is love talk. This is tough love talk. God put you in a place and wants you to build that place. And I can get biblical and go to the Garden of Eden, blah, 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 to build, to till, to beautify where you were born, where you live. I'm going to talk about my people for a second. We worked we worked the menial jobs, and we worked them for free. Once slavery ended, we continued to work those jobs, but we wanted to get paid money. We didn't want to be doing it for free. Then they came up with the sharecropper system. I can go on and on and on. The bottom line is black people will work any freaking job. We just don't want to get lowballed for the work. And for us to allow people to come here and get lowballed for the work ain't helping it. Pay black people the money that they earn to work those type of jobs. I'm working a job that's supposed to be paying $25 an hour. You giving it to somebody for $14, $15 an hour is destabilizing the efforts of economic growth. It's not helping in it. And I'm gonna use that word destabilize for a whole reason, for a lot. I'm gonna use it a lot. It is not bringing stability to this country when these jobs are supposed to pay this much, and you want to bring in immigrants, and you're pro-immigrant. You may not say it out loud. You may be anti-immigration, but you really, you got a business, you got a farm, and you're doing peanuts or whatever. You need these people to come in here and pick this stuff up. Not knowing black people, because I used to live in North Carolina. Black people will take those jobs as long as you pay them the money worth it. Black people will deal in a hog mill and a farm and take the pigs on the truck to some place to get slaughtered, but they don't want to get paid minimum wage when that's a dangerous job. So it's not xenophobia or racism, it's fairness. It's fairness. And here she is. She let you know what it's all about. Work. Mayor Adams going around here acting like we got all these city jobs that nobody don't want. Stop telling that lie, man. The only reason people won't take those jobs is because they don't know about it. Go into the black community, go into the Latino community, go into any community, and you start talking about these jobs, I bet you they'll jump on it. See, they want to paint this picture that we have all these jobs and we need somebody to fill these jobs, and that's why we need these workers over here and these workers over there, because the workers here ain't going to do it. Get out of here. We just ain't going to let you lowball us for doing it. These people want to lowball to help put money in the capitalist's pocket by manipulating immigrants coming to this country, giving them the hopes and dream, okay, you work here, we're going to find you a way to get a quick work visa and stuff like that. We're going to put you to work, but you're going to,
People want to work. That is what they came here for, to be able to start their new life and to get connected and on their journey to get resettled.
Meanwhile,
people want to work to get connected here and from their journey and resettle. That's everybody's story. Everybody wants to work. Now you got some people just bummed up, just want to take advantage of the system, and I guarantee you, these people get these immigrants, and some of them when if they become citizens in the United States, even now they go, if they can find a way to get all these, they get a check every month and stuff like that, and they don't have to require to do all that much work, they'll do it. Who won't? It ain't just them. Anybody will do that. If you're willing to give me a check and I ain't got to put that much work in to get it, I'll take that job any day. But again, it's the efforts of the way they're going about it is going to hurt the country more than help. It's going to destabilize the country. It's going to destabilize the community. And it has been destabilizing the black community for the longest. We're trying to keep our community without somebody coming in here trying to rezone it for some kind of new building project to take over. Look at Flatbush. Flatbush used to be African town. Between Flatbush and between Caden and Church, all the businesses there were black owned. Now it's Arabs, Chinese, Asian. I mean, there was a time when black people had the lock on the weed game, on the marijuana game. We had the lock. Now they made it legal. They did whatever they can to not fulfill their promise by allowing majority of the black population who got locked up for the weed game, the weed business, give them the opportunity to properly start their own weed business and sell it legally. When it came time for us to do that, there's always a freaking roadblock in the way, and their felony case is usually the one that does it. And now most of the weed shops are owned by Arabs. Most of the pizza shops are owned by the Arabs. Most of the smoke shops are owned by the Arabs. Nothing wrong with the Arabs. Not dissing Arabs. Arabs are people too. But it's the entitlement that people get when they come into this country where they get carte blanche and get things fast tracked. And the people here in this country don't get it fast tracked. Again, it goes back to fairness. If anybody should be getting fast tracked, it's the people that's already here. If anybody should get fast tracked to housing, to a room, into a elaborate hotel, it's the people that's here that's homeless first. But this federal government and its leaders will do whatever they can to house people who are not citizens of the United States. I think the main reason again is the use of labor without coming out of pocket for it, and also with the hope and dream that they're all going to support the Democrats because they're going to realize what we've done for them, and they're going to be great supporters of us.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries said they had secured another $104.6 million in federal aid for the city.
Let me go back to this. Hakeem Jeffrey, the black brother with the ghoulish eyes, another Brooklynite. All these black people in Brooklyn that need financial help, they don't get access. You see how these people work themselves to the bone, hard, fast, quick. They care for some people that's not even citizens, but don't work hard, fast, and quick for the people who are already a citizen. Man, I could tell you about the different things that's going on in Brownsville. I could tell you about the different things that's going on over in the Flatbush area of Brooklyn. I could tell you about certain things that need to be done over there by the Marcy projects and stuff like that, and the various projects in New York City that need help. And in New York City is using the money. They're trying to fix it, but don't have the money. I'm talking about the after school programming for the youth. I've talked to AOC about that, and she just blow me off. But she'll back something like this up in a minute. Feeding programs for the kids. Seniors need to have feeding programs for the seniors where they can eat 1 or 2 meals a day at a senior center without taking their money, spending it on medication. It's just so much need in the communities of New York outside of immigration. Let me keep going.
$104.6 million in federal aid for the city. A Schumer spokesman tells CBS 2 the senator has personally pushed the White House to expedite work permits. I'm Marcia Kramer, CBS 2 News.
And a spokesperson for the Orange County executive insists that the city's lawsuit lacks merit. He says the county will continue to try to keep asylum seekers out.
Now, the efforts that Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer to get money to go to immigrations, but don't fight half as hard. This is what I'm telling you. Don't fight half as hard for the citizens in their own district. You're going to fight hard for people who have not been in this country. People who were bused wasn't expecting. These people wasn't expecting to come to New York. They expected to be in Texas. That's where they go. They knew I mean, just as long as I can get anywhere in the United States. And I get the sentiment. America, the land of the free, the home of the brave. I can do so much more in America than I can do in Chile and Brazil and Honduras. I can do so much more there. Yeah, that's the opportunity that we built here. But you still need to go through the proper channels. If we go through the proper channels, we wouldn't have this influx of thousands coming in, and that destabilizes the country. And in some cases, it can be a security risk because you don't know everybody that's coming. Everybody ain't nice, sweet, and kind, and everybody's not looking for opportunity. You're going to have a few people that's gangsters, dangerous, and, people got at Trump for saying that. But, not everybody's nice. You're going to have some people that's probably running from the cartel, used to be part of the cartel, and have a cartel mindset. Let me stop saying cartel. The drug gang, that's what it is. Cartel is just a gang. Here in America, it gets an ugly name. Gang members. Cartel sounds so much exquisite, elite. These people saying, "Look, don't bring these people here. We can't afford it here. We don't have the ability to care for these people here, and you're gonna send them over here, and it's gonna break our region. We don't have the budget and the money to take care of our own because our leaders are too busy trying to do their own thing instead of fighting to get money over here so we can take care of our budget for this, and that for our community. You bringing them here is really going to make it worse." Well, Rob, what do you think they should do? Well, they're already in New York, and New York is a big place. You got no choice, The mayor is trying his best. The mayor is actually trying to figure out other ways of doing it. But let me go to the article right here. I mean,
your queen, for I bear the heart of a lion, and in my veins
I try
runs
to
the blood of kings.
look at different articles to see what they say. New York City sues 30 counties for refusing asylum seekers. There's reasons for them refusing asylum seekers. Why you, New York City, suing them? You open yourself. Let me stop. Let me back it up. It's a state situation. State claimed to be a sanctuary state. So the state expect everybody, every county, to accommodate the status that the state put on. Leaders of the state, the governors, the legislator, declared New York State a sanctuary city. Screw whether the counties agree with it or not. This is just the way it is. We're a sanctuary city. I know counties, you didn't get a chance to vote on this, but forget you. If we're a sanctuary state, you automatically become a sanctuary city, sanctuary county, or sanctuary town, and you got to take care of any and everybody, and their mama, and their grandma, that comes in this country from the north, south, east, and west. You're going to have to take care of. You're going to have to do your fair share. I didn't ask for that. I got my own citizens I got to take care of over here. They're already griping and complaining that I don't do nothing for them, and you going to put this on my lap too? That's really going to make them look at me foul like they doing Brandon over there in Chicago. Mary Adams want to sue these counties. Why? Because he can't handle it. And you shouldn't have to try to handle it. You're just too much a punk to be bold. Because if somebody left something on my doorstep that I ain't asked for, I'm sending it back. And that's the problem. Most people don't want to talk about, well, what are you going to do? Send them back? Easy as you put them on the bus here, the easier you can put them on the bus back. I'm sorry. It's just that you need to come here through the proper channels. And I get it. Some of them are going to get locked up, and then they'll start the process of going through the proper channels. You shouldn't have to go through all that. Just come through the proper channels. Now, I don't understand their mindset. I don't understand the situation, what's going on in the country. I don't understand that. And I got my own issues to try to understand. I got my own community I got to look out for and protect and to keep and to build. I'm 100% focused on that. But you expect me to be focused on that. And I can't because I'm focused on this. And that's what these mayors are saying in these towns. Look, we're focusing on our own citizens. You want me to focus on that because you declared New York City or New York State a sanctuary city. I asked for that. I declare that. And I ain't got nothing against immigrants coming to this country. We got some fine immigrants in here in my town, but they had to go through a process. These people got to go through a process. Well, you're going to take them through the process because this is the process we got going on now, and you better pay your fair share. Dude, it ain't that easy. Again, most of the time, our government allowing these people to come here because they see dollar signs, a dollar sign saved for the corporate elite. The corporate elite get to keep more money in their pocket because they get to work people who don't have the proper paperwork, don't have the proper license through the state or through the city. They don't have it. Now, eventually they'll get it through once they become citizens, but right now they don't have it. So you're going to bypass the person who have it to a person who don't have it because you want to save money. Yeah. All right, so let me. But that article is basically going through the same thing about the amount of people coming here and the mayor is upset because, the people ain't buying him doing that stuff. Well, let's take a look at this. Let's look at this right here. This is from the New York City website, the New York City website. And the New York City website, let me see. Let's take a look at the New York City website. The city of New York to sue 30 New York counties for illegally walling off their border to asylum seekers. In other words, we're going to sue you for putting up a wall to block us from sending immigrants, migrant workers to your town. We're going to punish you because you won't do your share taking in these immigrants. Who told you we had to do any share when it comes to taking in these immigrants? Well, it's the right and moral thing to do. Well, morality, right thing may not be the right thing. I remember my grandma told me this a long time ago. Boy, it might be the right thing to do, but is it right? It might be the right thing to do, but is it right? And you trying to push these people, you yourself, Mayor Adams, you're getting so frustrated. You want to push these people onto other counties, forcing them. And then you're going to sue them. Boy, ain't that something? You're going to sue these people because they want to do their fair share of taking in them citizens. New York City Mayor Eric Adams and the New York City Corporation Council Sylvia Hines Reddix today announced that the city of New York is filing a lawsuit against more than 30 New York local counties that issued unlawful emergency executive orders intended to prohibit New York City from arranging for even a smaller number of asylum seekers to stay in private hotels in their jurisdiction at the city of New York expenses. At the city of New York expenses. No, that's not at the city of New York expenses. That's at the people of the city of New York expenses. Who's told you the people of New York were all on board for this? And why you assume that? Who told you it was okay to take the taxpayer money to put these people up in hotels in other cities? Now, again, the lady told you in the article, in the video, that they're fining. The city is fining these hotels if they take them in. Now, look, I'm not a fan of that. If they got the money to pay for the room, let them pay for the room. Business is business. long as they got the money, the city paying them to stay in the room, let them stay in the room. That's fair. But just housing them with the promise of money coming in and stuff like that, no. You guys take some time, go to New York website and take a look at that. Look, it said almost all city of New York expenses. Amidst of a major humanitarian crisis and statewide emergency, New York City has had more than 74,000 asylum seekers ask for shelter since last spring and has opened up more than 160 sites to handle the fluctuation of migrant. Let me say this again. 74,000 asylum seekers. Don't let them play you on these words called asylum. This word asylum. Asylum seeker usually is somebody who's trying to seek refuge from somebody or from something. Not everybody is coming are asylum seekers. But you won't know the real reason why they're here. So they got a reason why they're coming. Some of them just come from hope and opportunity. I get it. It's not what you call asylum seeker. That's not what you call asylum seeker. Matter of fact, let me look this up. All right. Let me take a look at this. All right. All right, so the word asylum means the protection granted by a nation to someone who has left their native country as a political refugee. An institution offering shelter and support to people who are mentally ill. Now, they changed the definition of asylum because asylum was somebody just seeking refuge from something. It wasn't specifically for political refuge, but they probably updated that. But most of these people are not coming here for political refuge. Most of these people just coming here for hope and opportunity. That is not political refuge. That's the economic refuge that I'm tired of going somewhere else to get a better opportunity. I'm tired of living in the country of Murfreesboro, North Carolina, and there ain't that much jobs, so I'm going to New York City because at least they got a bunch of jobs. That's different. That's not, when I left Virginia to come to New York, I wasn't seeking asylum. I just wanted to come out here and do some business because it's New York. So it's not the same. But going back to what I was saying, not everybody seeking asylum. 75,000 ain't seeking asylum. Majority of them just want better hope and opportunity and willing to go through the border. And they see this way as an avenue of getting in this country versus the old just, creep through the creeks and land and terrain and, hot vans and buses to get into this country for hope and opportunity for a job. They've learned to lump all this stuff on the asylum seekers so they can get benefits as asylum seeker, but most of them are not asylum seekers. Now, you get a chance to go over this article or go over the details of this proposal, but Mayor Adams is getting frustrated that he's feel like I got to take the weight because they sending the buses to my city. Well, why don't you tell ABBA to send the buses to their cities? That's a different thing. Of course, if there's ways to play this game if you want to. If you want, instead of suing these people, just tell ABBA to send some buses over there, man. Or reroute the buses over there. What he's going to do. Again, I'm the type of person, you send a package send me something out and won't on my doorstep, I'm sending it back. And I'm not a fan of none of this stuff. And you can call me a right winger, a drifter, or a trumpeter, or whatever. Whatever. That's my new word now. Whatever you want to think, I don't care. I'm just me. I believe there's proper ways to come into this country, and you need to follow the proper ways. I got beautiful friends from all over the world. They went through the proper channel. Got a couple of friends from Africa, proper channels. If you have to sit there and marry somebody, whatever, that's a proper channel. You find somebody, you marry them 2 years. They do that big time here in New York. Oh, you be surprised how many people come up to me, want to, please marry me. I give you $10,000 and, give me 2 years of your life and stuff like that. And I'll get out of here. But that's a way. That's a way if you can pull it off. And some of it legit. But if you can pull it off, that is a way. That is a legal path to citizenship, But just rushing in here and coming in this country because you want hope and opportunity and you're going to go through illegal means to do it, the city and the neighborhoods shouldn't have to pay the cost for that. They shouldn't. That's something you wanted, something you risked your life for, and I applaud you for it. Go get it. But why should the citizens of that neighborhood have to accommodate you because you wanted to come to America and risk your life for it? I can't do that. I have people over here that's struggling. I can't do that. Let me go to another video of Mayor Eric Adams talking that stuff again. Here's Mayor Eric Adams. Now, Mayor Eric Adams is getting to a point where he's so frustrated now that he flaunts that I'm going to show myself as a leader, I'm going to have some of these immigrants come stay in Gracie's mansion. Have you done that for the homeless? Have you done that for the mentally ill? Have you done that for anybody? Have you done that for black people? Have you done that for anybody? You see a bunch of black people going through a struggle, you're a black man, probably your own family members. Have you let them stay in your house? I guarantee you this numbnut got family members that's struggling and he probably won't even help them. I guarantee you that. But this is what he had to say.
Commissioner Molina, we're going to continue to get there. In a growing process, there are painful moments. We must turn pain into purpose, and that is what this administration is doing.
We must turn pain into purpose. Dude, don't lump me up in your pain. This is your pain. It's not my pain. I'm not asking for that, and I'm not accommodating that, and I'm not putting into that, none of that stuff. That's your pain. Their pain was we probably destabilized their country, and now they feel the need to come over here, and we open our doors for people who messed their country up. But we going to just exploit them. And the pain they had to take to get through here, I recognize that. Man, the stuff that you got to go through just to get to America for greater hope and opportunity, thumbs up to you, man. That's a tough feat. But you could have stayed in your own country and fought for your own country and built up your own country and find a way to prosper your own country. Because people do. A lot of people don't leave their homeland. A lot of people stick and stay and expect greatness and fight for it. I mean, literally fight for that. You're not going to come here and take over our beautiful city and our beautiful land. We're determined to prosper our country. To beautify and prosper our country. We ain't going to let nobody do it. I'm not going to just leave. I'm not going to flee. I'm not going to run. I'm going to fight for my country. Now, mind you, a lot of people do come to this country and, get a good job, work 20 years, go back to that country and live the good life. But most of those people came here through the proper channels. And to some black people, some people of any race, it was like, yo, I can't do that. This is my country. And for me to work 20 years, it ain't going to be easy for me to live the life of luxury. So I'll go to your country. And guess what? They got to go through the proper channels to become a citizen into that country in order to live the good life for the rest of their life when they retire. There's a proper channel you have to go through. And I'm always going to tell people, I'm not going to sit here sideways. That's the way to go. If you go any other way, nobody should be able to accommodate you. They don't have an obligation to accommodate you. Now, whether they accommodate you or not, that's up to them. But you came for the American dream. And now this thing is putting a weight on a lot of neighborhoods, putting a lot of weight on other people in the country. That's citizens who can't get no help. Well, this was what Mayor Adams said.
So funny you say that, because I was speaking with the staff to see if I can put a few families into Gracie Mansion. I'm a big believer in leading from the front, and if it does.
So what Mayor Eric Adams is going to do, these politicians so slick. I got to be the one to lead from the front. I got to lead I'm a leader. I got to lead from out front. So I'm going to take them into Gracie's Mansion because I'm trying to, I'm not going to tell you to do something I'm not willing to do. So I'm going to let some of these migrant workers come and stay in the Gracie's Mansion. And I expect you to do the same thing, citizens of New York. If I'm going to house them, you're going to house them. Problem is, Mayor, how long are you going to house these people? And how many? If you call yourself an example. See, he's doing this because he's want to tell you to do the same thing. Dude, man, let me tell you something about New Yorkers. Man, New Yorkers don't want to house their own family members, man. Well, let alone an immigrant, man. Somebody that don't know, don't have no relationship with, don't have no clue who they are and what they was into before they got here. And mind just most some decent people. But like I said, you got some knuckleheads out here. And you want us to house them? Man, if you don't get it.
Doesn't go against legal protocols, because there are protocols that are in place that, I can't use the building any way I want. But I don't have a problem if I could put a migrant family in Gracie Mansion. Because I want to lead from the front. That's the type of leader I am. I'm in the subway system talking to people who are homeless because I lead from the front. I slept.
Negro, you only doing that to prove a point. You only doing that. This Negro don't be in no freaking subways. He'll do that when he's trying to tell somebody to do something. He puts himself as a person that's doing it himself when he's only doing that to tell you to do it. He really don't want to do it. He just can't tell you to do something, because it's going to make him look bad because he's not doing it. I'm doing it, you should do it. That's what that is all about. Him going in the subway, I'm doing it, I want you to, I slap with people on it. Yeah, but you ain't do it for a month, bruh. Probably did it for a day. If that. Cause I showed you videos of him sleeping with migrant workers, but you didn't see him sleeping in the tent cities and the Bruckner and all that.
In a hurt because I lead from the front. I'm on the train, riding the subways so they can be safe because I lead from the front. I want to eat.
Not always. Not always, man. Come on.
Healthy so that people can eat healthy because I lead from the front. Generals don't send their troops into battle and ask how is the war. They lead their troops into battle.
So, Mayor Adams calling all New Yorkers his troops. And I'm your general. I'm your leader. You do it as I say. If I say do it, do it. Believe me, I'm going to do it. If I can do it, you can do it. You have no excuse. If I can have people in my house, you need to have people in my house, in your house. If I go sleep on a train with a homeless, you should try it and like it. This guy's something else, man.
I'm a general that leads my troops into battle. So yes, I'm more than willing to use whatever space I have to deal with this crisis.
Do it.
We're looking at the plan of how do we take the $4.3 billion, and go into local communities. If someone is struggling in their mortgage and they have a spare bedroom, and we can find a way to say, how do we help you pay your mortgage because of whatever economic challenge you're going through by, at the same time, helping the migrant crisis, we're willing to do that. I'm trying to deal with this crisis with all the tools that we have available.
And they applaud. So he's saying, look, we're willing to give you a check. If you have an extra bedroom, we want to pay you to house the immigrants. Again, taking the taxpayers' money that could be used to service the taxpayers, and you're going to give it to people to service immigrants. The point of the whole matter is this is not helping New York. This is hurting New York. You got New Yorkers who really need that money that you're about to spend on these migrant workers. You're spending billions on migrant workers, and you don't take time to spend the same billions for the people who are New York City workers. You know, we've been fighting for 10 PTO days, and haven't heard anything from him on that. Again, we're trying to beef up the food programs for low-income communities and the seniors. He's not putting those money into that. We need to have more after-school programming, doing different trainings from mechanic to flying an airplane. There's no money for that. We got kids who are homeless and their parents are on the streets and they're homeless too. We don't have no. We don't. What about the investment in that? But this guy feel like he got to bend his back and go overboard for people who are not even citizens.
To make sure we resolve it. Well, what we're doing with the churches is $125 a night, and we are looking at the same version of how do we do it cheaper than what we're paying now. And so all this is part of the concept. You know, there are multiple.
So I guess he's paying $125 per head at each church. Of course, the church going to take that. Church going to take that, but how much of that money are going to go toward feeding these people?
Level of things that are happening. And so while we're looking long-term as looking at private residents, we're dealing with what we have in front of us right now. So we're not just focusing on one.
So he have a program. Right now we're focusing on getting these people in the churches. We're going to pay churches $125, I guess, per head. Then we're going to try to encourage New Yorkers, the most suspicious people in the world, to let these people stay in their extra room, extra basement for a certain amount of money. We'll give them a check for that. And if you, whatever new way he come with, he's trying to be innovative and trying to get these people some housing. When, again, like I said, you put a package on my door, I'm sending that package back. If I didn't order it, I'm not taking it. Back on the truck it go. Back to the depot. Because I didn't order it. And that's not his mindset. He feel like he got to go over and above to try to service migrant workers. And a lot of time, again, it's for the sake of capitalism, number one. Number two, it's for the sake of him getting some eyes on him that he can bring new voters to the Democrats. At the end of the day, everything is about voting. We figure we give these people, we service these people and show them that we really care. In turn, they're going to show care for us and our party and our people in our party. This guy, man.
Aspect of this, we're thinking long-term ahead. If we don't get the help that we need from the national government, I got to solve this problem. That's what I want people to really understand. I must solve this problem no matter what help I get from anywhere in the country. I'm the mayor of New York City, and I have to solve the problem that's facing New Yorkers.
You're not solving a problem that's facing New Yorkers. You're solving a problem that's facing immigrants coming into New Yorkers. Most New Yorkers wasn't asking for that. Most New Yorkers wasn't expecting that. Most New Yorkers are not saying, bring it on, bring them, come on, come one, come all. Don't blame this on the New Yorker. You got a crisis on your hand, and you feel like you got to come up with the solution. And the simple solution is the same Solution at Greg Abbott. Greg Abbott had a problem and he came up with a solution. Put them on the bus and send them to a sanctuary city. That's a solution. The counter solution to that is put them back on the bus and send them back to the border towns and let Greg deal with it. I'd rather spend my money doing that than doing that, than putting the pressure on the people already here in New York City. The people in New York have their own issues, Mayor Eric Adams. Now, I got one more, I think one more video and I'm done. Let's see how many more videos I got up here. All right, so this is the White House. The White House was questioned about Mayor Adams' tactic. Like, Mayor Adams trying to make it seem like he's a lone wolf. And he's trying to make like I got the weight of the world on my shoulder. No, you got the weight of the immigrants on your shoulder. You ain't got the weight of the world on your shoulder. You got the weight of the immigrant. To me, it's a simple solution. Again, you should send a package to my house that I didn't order. It's going back. Now, back in the day, they would let you say you can keep the package and stuff like that. They don't do that no more. Wrong package coming to your house, you can't keep it. And it's not right for you to keep it. Send it back. So the same question was asked to Corinne Jean Pierre, another immigrant, come from an immigrant family, came here the proper way. I'm no fan of her. Lord knows I'm no fan. They just using her for her blackness and her queerness, and so they can say, "Look at us, we're acceptance and we're Democrats. We take care of people of all colors and communities and stuff like that. This is the place to be. Look at her." The first black White House secretary is not only an immigrant, not foundational, an immigrant. She's black and she's queer. Yay. Using her again for votes. And she was asked this question, and that's what they had to say.
I want to ask about UFOs, but I have to ask about the border first. On the 11th Circuit ruling yesterday blocking quick releases of migrants, does the administration plan to appeal to the Supreme Court?
It's ongoing litigation, so certainly I'm not going to comment on that at this time.
The New York City mayor floated plans to have migrants be housed with residents. Is that something the administration would support? And if that ends up becoming necessary, would that be a poor reflection on the administration's ability to manage this?
So I haven't seen those reports. I kind of saw some chyrons on the cable news network, I think yours, coming out to the podium. What I can say is that we have been in touch with the interior cities, right? The cities like New York City, like Chicago and others who are dealing with this issue, and we've had conversations with them. We are in touch with them. As you know, there is more than $200 million in funding that has gone to these interior cities. A majority of that has gone to New York City, but just not going to speak to the mayor's policies. I just don't know enough about it to speak to it at this time.
So here, she's deflecting, as usual. She just said that they gave them $250 million New York City, most of New York City. More money coming to care for people who are not citizens of this country. But when it's come down to taking care of the citizens of this country, we don't get that kind of effort. We don't get that kind of action. And look, I'm going to tell you like this. I'm not a fan of her. I'm not thrown by her cuteness. This is a black woman who thinks she's white. I think her wife is white. You got a lot of black people, when they marry a white person, they tend to forget they black. Don't you ever forget you black. I don't care who you with, you black. And I don't care who you with, the overall community don't come before your black community. I don't really know her, but she takes me as the type of person that talk about black people. And she's black. You put her on a panel of a bunch of white people on CNN, and she's going to dog out the black people. She can't wait. She's itching. I'm telling you, remember this from me, and I said this before. You can always find a person who hates themselves to the point that they want to forget that they're themselves. Put Roland Martin on a panel of white people, and he's the first one trying to go off the black person's throat if the subject is about black people. If it's like about Ice Cube or somebody. Same thing with her. Can't wait to say something to shun, to piss on, to dump on. She is not she's not an okay person, man. Don't trust her for nothing in the world. All right, so I'm gonna bring this point up, and then I got one more video I want to show you there. We're Audi 5000 up in this space. We're Audi 5000. Let me see if I can get that video up real quick. One more video to go, and then we're out of here. One more video to go, and we are out of here. It's video 4. Okay. All right, video 4. I'm going to say this in closing. All right, give me a second. Bring that up one more time. All right, let me bring myself here. In closing, let me be clear. My lady friend, she's an immigrant. Got beautiful immigrants into this country. Foundational Black Americans fought for all immigrants to come in this country. We primarily was trying to focus on getting a African diaspora, a heavy sector of African diaspora into the United States. So we fought hard to try to get people from the Caribbean, try to get people from different parts of Africa, a Pan-African type of unity to happen, which never fully happened because the government always try to come in and destabilize us, Black community, in every kind of way, even in that way, and pit us against each other. And we're the ones that was trying to make it for you to come here, and did. And we're not anti-immigration. We're not anti-immigrant. We're not we're just pro-Black, and we try to make sure that we don't get neglected in the process of helping everybody else out. But a lot of people in other communities saying, listen, just neglect yourself and be all about the overall Team America. And it can't be that way for the simple fact that Team America never rectify whatever they need to do with foundational Black Americans. We do all this work to try to make this country greater. And it was us that's at the forefront. It was us that was at the forefront of the that helped prop up the women's movement. It was us that helped prop up the worker rights and labor movement before a lot of people came into this country. And then after that, you had the Latinos come in, and then you had people from different parts of the Caribbean come in and all be part of that because we fought for those doors to open. So Black people are not pretty much anti-immigration, but the way the federal government has set the anti-immigration system up, they have their own system. I mean, not anti-immigration. The federal government has their own system of bringing in immigrants. And I'm not just talking about migrant workers. I'm talking about immigrants in general. The proper channel and the improper channel. And they're leading more on the improper channel immigration because they know that's the fastest way to destabilize a black community versus build up a black community. Now, the right way, we use the right way of immigration to build up the black neighborhoods, to build up the black community. We used it effectively. And we fought effectively. Now, sometimes a lot of us get off cold. We forget we black, and we started kissing everybody else's behind butt black, and we don't, you know, you can't do that. You can't do that. My black brothers and sisters all over the world. You know, a person that dumps on foundational black Americans and treat them like trash and talk about them like a dog and really mean it. Now, I'm not talking about, you know how we do in the hood. We cut each other, joke on each other and stuff like that. At the end of the day, we still family. No, I'm talking about people who just don't like black Americans, foundational black Americans. And it was the foundational black Americans that made it possible for them to come to this country. So we're not anti-immigration if you do it the right way. We're anti this current government way of immigration. It destabilizes not just the black community, it stabilizes a lot of community, but my major focus is my community. It destabilizes the black community. And Dr. Claude Anderson, famous economist, used to be with Carter and all these kind of people, recognize that and been preaching this for years. How the current system of immigration destabilizes the black community and hurts the black community the way they're doing it, the way Governor Adams is doing it, and the way Governor Abbott and the way the federal government is doing it. Instead of, tighten up these borders and causing these people to come in the proper way. Before I go, I'm going to have Dr. Claude Anderson take us out, and then we're out of here. Claude Anderson, famous economist, a leader in the reparations movement. If you talking reparations and you ain't got this guy to listen to, if he is not on your team, if you're not taking your pointers from him, if you not have read his books like Powernomics and things like that, then you're not serious about helping black people. You're not serious about reparation. He is the foremost expert on reparations. So when you talk about reparation, you haven't sat down with this guy as long as he's alive, because he's getting up in age, but he's been doing this for a while. If you're talking about providing reparation for black people and you have not sit here and taken notes from this man and adopted his philosophy to make this happen, then you can miss me with your claim of reparation for black people. I don't care who you are, from Marion Williamson to Tom Steiner, or whatever his name, Steyer. You can miss me. Nobody is for reparation until they listen to this man, Dr. Claude Anderson. He's going to take us out, and then I'm out of here.
That's the problem with the influx of immigrants. And what they are doing is coming into the country and doing what we've never been allowed to do and we've never been bright enough to do in some senses, is to build your own communities. You got to build your communities. You see, every group that when they leave their homeland, the last thing they do is look in the mirror. They look in the mirror and say, I'm going to America. And I'm going to go to America, I'm going to find me a community or a neighborhood. Or I'm going to build one with people who look like me. And so that's why you go all over this nation, where they're coming out of Asia. You will find Vietnamese towns all over California, little Cambodias. You'll find a Chinatown in every major city. You'll see the Hispanics come in, they'll build a little Mexico, or a little Havana, or a little Hialeah. You find little Italys, French towns, German towns, Greek towns, Polish towns, but you cannot find one black town. And we are the only people that keep trying to integrate. We're the only people, rather than looking in the mirror and saying, I see somebody that looks like me, I want to go find and build me a community of people who look like me. We're doing just the opposite. That's your second problem, is inappropriate behavior of black folk. We keep looking in the mirror and says, I want to get away from everybody that looks like me. You can't have any power and wealth doing that. If you don't have a community, you cannot rebuild Los Angeles without a black community. If I cannot come in this city, you can tell me where every black lives, where he stays, where he works. You don't have a community. And all of you want to go in business, don't waste your time. You cannot start a business and operate without a town or community. Why can't you do it? Because without a community, you have no market. If you don't have a market, every black can go by your store at 200 miles an hour heading for the suburbs and heading for the malls.
There you go. That was Dr. Claude Anderson, just a sample of the brilliancy and the brilliant mind of Claude Anderson, the famous economist, respected all over the world, respected by even government leaders like Jimmy Carter, and who had him as a part of his administration. He worked with Obama administration, but the brother was real. He was real. He's foundational black American. He's serious about black people need to get reparations now because it's gotten that bad, that we need to start focusing on building our community or we're dead. We're gone. The only people that live and survive and thrive is people who build up their communities. And that's why I am the way I am when it comes to immigration, because the problem I have is that most of these people are going to come in our neighborhood and destabilize the neighborhood. They don't put them in their neighborhoods. They put them in ours. And that cuts us even more down the legs. Now, you may not agree with it, but it does, because now they're coming in to build a community in our community. And we need to build our communities. We don't need nothing coming in our community, building a community within our community. No, go build your community over there. Let us build our community here. Problem I got with Mayor Adams and his whole immigrant way of doing things is, number one, he don't have no balls. He don't have galls. And he don't have the fortitude to just say, no, I'm not taking this on. Stop trying to act like you Mr. Hero, because this is not your responsibility. This is not a fight that you have to fight. It's simple. I don't care if we destabilize their country or not. There are proper channels to come through this country, and you have to go through it. And the way they're doing it with Governor Abbott, send them to a sanctuary city, which in my eyesight, if you claim to be a sanctuary city, I would do the same thing too. Understand this. He don't care whether it's destabilize anything. I'm not dealing with this no more. I deal with this every day. I'm not going to deal with stopping them at the border and then trying to figure out how to get them through the system. I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to leave that to you sanctuary city people. I'm saying stop this sanctuary city site stuff. The whole United States should be a sanctuary. If you're really trying to find aid and protection and stuff like that, America should be that type of country. But to protect other people and don't protect your own people, to serve other people and don't serve your own people, to finance and economically stabilize other people and not do that for your people is not American. It's wrong, especially when it comes to black Americans. That is foul. All that money you're spending on people who are not even citizens, and you can't even spend money to the people who are citizens to this country. This is not war. This is just common sense. Now, I can't say gentrification is a war, destabilizing black communities and trying to find new ways to burn their town down. Those are acts of terrorism and act of war. And you trying to destabilize our community is an act of war. I don't care if you're Mayor Brandon over there in Chicago to Mayor Adams. Stop taking our money, our tax money, and believe me, New York tax you at the behind. Stop taking our tax money and putting other people before the people here. Again, the black community is being stabilized because they're putting everybody, they're rezoning, they're doing whatever they can to take what's ours away from us. We already don't have much left because of conning and scheming that the federal government has been doing. We already have been robbed and stolen from because of the way the government allowed things to happen like this. And that's why we're playing catch up now, and that's why we're being that's why we're doubling down on the issues of reparation and no black vote, no black agenda, no black vote, because we have to fix our communities. Mayor Adams feel like he have to fix the world, and the way the world is on his shoulder with its immigration thing. No, your number one reason for you being in office is because the amount of black people that went there and vote for you, not Latinos. I mean, Latinos had their share, but black people went out to bat for you in Brooklyn, got you out of being borough president to the mayor. And you should be taking that money and investing a lot in the black communities. In a lot of black communities, and a lot of the homeless shelters and a lot of senior centers and stuff like that, and the after school programs in the Bronx, in Brooklyn, are pretty much blacks. A lot of foundational, a lot of immigrants, and some Latinos. That money need to go to them. But who am I? Guys, leave your comments at the bottom. Like, share, subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Make sure it's on. So when you get a video, it's going to drop. You'll know about it. Whoop, there it is. Folks, I'm going to say this and I'm going to close. I said, Rob, you sound like you're anti-immigration. No, I'm anti the way the government immigrate people into this country. That's what I'm anti. This mess right here, I am anti that all day, every day. It's sloppy, it's foul, it breaks a city, it breaks a community, and it can break a people the way they're doing it. And that has to stop. It has to stop. And it's starting with these border towns sending people here. You know, start with us making ourselves a sanctuary city. And we should never make ourselves a sanctuary city. Matter of fact, this country should be a sanctuary country, and you should be able to seek sanctuary here in this country if you really have a valid reason to seek sanctuary. Hope and opportunity isn't a sanctuary excuse. Now the federal government destroying your land and you just can't take it there no more, and you don't have no place to go and nothing like that, no housing, nothing like that. I can kind of see that, but that shouldn't be a fluctuation of 10,000 people. Honestly speaking, we need to revisit all these things and fix it. This is not helping. It's not helping you. It's not helping me. Definitely ain't helping the black community. We need to change the way we do our things when it comes to immigration. Because the way Mayor Adams is doing it, the way he's doing it, it ain't going to help at all. The weight of the world is on Mayor Adams' shoulder. At least that's what he wants it to be. He wants to seem like the one to come up with the solution to deal with immigration. When he can't even come up with a solution to deal with the homeless situation, he can't even come up with a solution to deal with the mental illnesses, and he definitely can't come up with a solution to deal with these off-the-wall tax system we got in New York City. Heck, he can't even sign the bill for 10 PTO days. I'm Bobby Brown with the Bobby Brown Show. I'll holler at you later. Good day, good morning, and good night.